What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.
Opinionated, outspoken, informative. The Jaguar Journal. Your source for the latest information on Southern University sports and SWAC athletics. A Baton Rouge sports talk tradition.
All right, everybody, bright and early on a Saturday morning. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I am Perry White. Good morning to everybody listening to us on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. Glad to have you guys on this cold and rainy Saturday morning. Everybody watching and listening all across the world on our YouTube and on our Facebook Live. Glad to have you guys with us as well. Some good stuff happening this morning here on the show. Now, I'll be glad to bring it to you. But first of all, somebody got me sick at the Bayou Classic. I don't know who hand I shook or who I hugged, but somebody got me. I don't know if I'm the only one that came back from the Classic, you know, a little under the weather, but it hit me hard Tuesday. Wednesday, I was down. I'm just now shaking back, and I'm still not 100%. But somebody got me sick. I don't know who it was, and I want to know, did anybody else come back sick? Was it just me? But I maybe shook one too many hands, maybe one too many hugs. I don't know what it is, but by the time Tuesday came around, it got me. And Wednesday, I was down and out. Thursday, I was fighting for my life. Yesterday, I was shaking back, and today I'm here. So if you hear a cough or two, hey, just know I'm trying to get back on track. You know, it's just so many people. It's the holiday season. You interact with so many people, 63,000 plus people to be exact, at this year's Bayou Classic down in New Orleans, man. And a beautiful sight. You know why? Because the Southern Jaguars won the game. Mike, you watched the game, huh? Mike texted me, said he was stressing out. It looked like Southern wanted to do everything they could to give the game away, man. And listen, I'm just happy we ended the season with a win. We needed that energy. And shout out to the Jaguar Nation. You know, you guys showed up, and I have to give kudos. You guys showed up. I say you guys. We showed up like I'm not a part of the Jaguar Nation and stayed to the very end. Now, I moved around during the game. I was on the field a little bit. I moved around to some suite levels. I moved around. I went to every area of the dome because I wanted to see what was the environment like in the atmosphere. Now, if you're watching on TV, most people, they judge by the stands, right? You're looking around the stands, and you just saying, hey, don't look like a lot of people there, but I promise you, the people were having a good time walking around in the plaza, the suites, at the bars. People was kicking it. Excuse me. When I say that the vibe was there, it was a good time. I had a chance to call the game on Sirius XM radio with my man Mark Gray and Mo Carter. Called the game with them, and let me tell you, that ending with Grambling with the fumble, and nobody better to fall on it than Kelby Givens to seal the deal, because it seemed like Grambling was basically setting themselves up for the go-ahead field goal to win the ball game. And how about Southern's defense in that game stepping up, forcing a big play? End the season on a high note. I ended up at the Hyatt somewhere down the line. Maybe this is where this, whatever this is I've been dealing with all week has come from. But then at the end of the day, we moved forward out of the Bayou Classic. Southern women's basketball team give us something big to talk about this week. They went on the road and defeated undefeated Arizona. Not only did they do that, then we get a new head football coach at Southern University. And I want to ask you guys, because you can call in. Matter of fact, 225-499-1073, 225-499-1073. And talk to me. How do you feel about Marshall Faulk being named the new head football coach at Southern University? I was at the press conference, had a chance to see all the big names, Aeneas Williams, Avery Johnson, the entire members of the board. It was a celebration. It was different from what I've seen in the past of head coaches, because since I've been here, I've seen Stump Mitchell be named as a head coach. I've seen Dawson Odoms be named as a head coach. I saw Jason Rollins be named as an interim coach. I saw Eric Dooley be named as a head coach, and I saw Terrence Graves be named as a head coach. So I've gotten a chance to see multiple coaching press conferences along from the other sports, right? I remember the Kerrick Jackson being named. I remember Kevin Johnson being named. So let's get ready to take a break. We got somebody calling in too. Mike, let's take a break. We'll take them when we come back. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
All right, quickly, man. One, two.
We are back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning, everybody. I'm Perry White. Let's go to the phone lines. Who we got, Mike? We got Chuck on the line. Good morning, Chuck. I always can rely on a call from Chuck from North Louisiana. What's up, Chuck?
Good morning to you, and congratulations to you all in Jaguar land on your victory in the Bayou Classic. And by the way, speaking of Bayou Classic, the state championship, the Superdome Classic, is coming up. Edna Carr and St. Augustine are playing for the state championship. St. Augustine hadn't been in state championship games since 1979, but St. Augustine is coached by a Southern alumnus, Robert Valdez, and Edna Carr is coached by a Grambling alumnus, Bryce Brown. That should be it. That's a Bayou Classic within itself in the Superdome Classic. Yes, and yes, that's going to be quite interesting. The battle of the purple and gold. But also, my reason for calling, you were talking about Marshall Faulk becoming you all's new head coach. It should be quite interesting in Baton Rouge. You have Marshall Faulk at Southern and across town, Lane Kiffin at LSU. It's gonna be quite busy in Baton Rouge. It can be quite, it'll be a lot. It's gonna bring a lot to the city, and I think you all having Marshall Faulk there, it could be quite interesting. Who he's going to imagine a lot of them down in Jaguar land will know who he's going to bring to the staff and what kind of players he's going to bring in. He's never been, he's been at Colorado as running backs coach, and this is going to be his first time ever being a head football coach. And here he's going to a college level. We're going to a place like Southern University, which there is much expectation, and we'll see how it's going to work out there. And I think he's kind of getting in now, because you think about how old Faulk is. Faulk is 52 years old. I think he said better get on this one now. And I look at Kiffin, it's my age. I just turned 50, and I think these guys are trying to get in there and this be their opportunity, because things do change in life. That's going to be my landing gear.
All right, thank you, Chuck.
All right, you all take care.
Hey, have a good one.
All right.
How y'all feel about Marshall Faulk? I've seen it torn a little bit. At the end of the day, he's here. So now we got to do our part to support. We got to do our part to be on board, to see how this is going to go. I get it. For most that I still see there's somebody else calling, Mike, who's still not on board because of no previous head coaching experience. But I think when we look at this is going to be based down to his staff, and he's going to be the CEO to bring in resources to help this program grow. Who we got, Mike? Let's go to Damien. Good morning, Damien.
Morning, boss man.
Talk to me, man. What's up?
Yeah, man. Glad to see you back in better health.
I'm trying, dude. I'm trying.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's why I can't be doing too much laughing. You're gonna make me cough, man.
Oh, my bad. But yeah, man. The hire of Marshall Faulk, I think, is, well, me personally, I prefer someone like Joel Taylor, who already has coaching experience, but having Marshall that has a name that can help SU out a lot. And like what someone said 2 weeks ago when he called in after me, he said it all depends on your coordinators, on who you pick.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, who's going to be entering the transfer portal, because we already have 3 players put a name in already. So over time, we're going to see how it turns out. I don't think next year we're going to have a winning record, but as long as fans are patient, and I mean really patient, we could get there.
What's patient as a fan base, as the Jaguar Nation? What's patient? Yeah, come on, give me some. This ain't one of them hard questions on the test now, is it?
I don't know, maybe 5 and 7, 5 and 7, 7 and 5, something like that.
You can live with 5 and 7?
No, but I'm saying like first season probably 5 and 7, but afterward, but the next season, all we can go is up.
Yeah, I hope so, because the way I've seen the SWAC, it's easy to be at the bottom. It's easy. It's not. People think it's easy to get to the top, and it's not. And I think you've seen Southern have its ups and downs, man. And when I say ups and downs, we have had it over the past few years. You know, we've gone down, we've hit a peak, we've gone up, we've gone back down, we've hit a peak, we've gone up. So we're like the stock market right now, but we don't want to flatline, right? We want to keep that peak going up, and that's been, you know, and I'm not speaking for Perry here. I've spoken enough about my opinion of what I thought. Now the decision has been made, and I'm going to roll with the decision because guess what? We have no choice, and at the end of the day, we want success here, no matter who it is. And at the end of the day, I just want to see what can Marshall Faulk do for this program to elevate it, not only for the wins and the losses in the category on the terms of a schedule, but in terms of the facilities, in terms of the recruiting, in terms of just the marketing of the program. It did make the ticker on ESPN. How about that? You know, but now how much further can we take this now relationship, this partnership, whatever this is, this hiring of Marshall Faulk to maximize it? And that's what I'm looking at, maximizing it to the best that we can, because there was a reason we went this direction. So now we have to maximize this to the best of what we can do and exceed expectations, not the bare minimum, not just trying to do something to say we're doing it. We have to truly put our minds together, not only as an athletic department, as a fan base, but as administrators, as the Jaguar Nation, and say, hey, how can we get the most out of this so we can finally see this program take it to the next level? Because Marshall Faulk, no doubt about it, was not here to just win games. Marshall Faulk is here to win championships. That was the nature of this hire. It wasn't just to hire a coach to say, hey, go in there and win some games and let's make some people happy. No. Southern fans want a Celebration Bowl victory. First of all, they want to get there. Second of all, they want to win it. And that is as simple as that. And now the expectation for Marshall Faulk is Celebration Bowl. It is nothing less than that. And can he get us there while maximizing being able to, for the exposure of our football program, our athletic department, and our institution as a whole, and the resources to be drawn into that program to be able to help grow it, whether it's facility upgrades, whether it's NIL, financial upgrades, any of that. And that's where we stand right now. And that's the wait and see approach of what is the plan? How would this plan be executed? And what would this plan look like throughout year 1, year 2, and I'll go to year 3 as of now. So for the next 3 years, what is elevation of the program under Marshall Faulk helping this program as the CEO and the head coach? What does it look like now? So I think that's, for me, where I stand on it currently.
Same here.
That's all you got for me?
Well, I didn't want to say this here, but Aeneas Williams is my cousin-in-law. So if he can vouch for Marshall Faulk, then I'll be on board too.
Well, we're going to roll with it, man.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, Damon, for the call.
All right, boss.
All right, man. Have a good day.
You too.
You know, that's just for me. I'm in the wait and see, and I'm excited. I think the energy from the Bayou Classic win on Saturday definitely helped push that energy, because that was some good energy in the Superdome. And I thoroughly, excuse me, I thoroughly enjoyed the energy. You got somebody else calling in, Mike. See who it is. I enjoyed the energy, and that energy flooded over into Monday. And it was good. And we needed that. We got Mike. All right, let's get CJ. Good morning, CJ.
Good morning, Mr. Perry. Good. You got a good show starting off already.
Yes, sir. Talk to me. What you got?
Well, you look, I think Mike can do some things as name recognition and so forth, getting us some players that we've never been able to get, like in the 3-star, 4-star. He might get 1 or 2 of those type of kids. But Perry goes all the way back to what type of money he going to have to give assistant coaches and offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators to come in to work this program completely over, okay? We need a complete redo job here. So you're not going to get no good minds to change the game. You know, sometimes good coaches can have bad players and win games because of their coaching. But in the HBCU arena, it's always coaches that we have never win games because of their good coaching. It's always because they got better athletes. In this case here, we have a chance to get good kids, but, man, we ain't going to be able to get no offense and defensive coordinator for $150,000 now. That just ain't going to work. not to go and get the expectations we are looking for. If he can't pay somebody $250 as an assistant, because you ain't heard about the money he's making, right?
I haven't seen anything released.
He's absolutely right. But there's way more. He's going to be the highest paid coach in HBCU. So that's going to be another subject matter altogether, Perry. But right now, we need to look at what we can do to make sure he has enough cash for the NIL and then the coaching staff. If you don't address them two right now, you can just about kiss tomorrow goodbye. Now, I do believe it'll be great if he can go get somebody like Odom to come on that staff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm an Odom man. We did good when we had Odom. We didn't know how good we had it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's some of the things that we're going to have to recognize real fast. I hear he do have some kids that are already committed out of the portal and everything, but it's just going to be some challenges, Perry. It ain't going to be no dreams come true right off the top of the bat from what I see.
Yes, sir. You correct, man. Thank you, CJ.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, you're correct. Let's go to the other caller right quick before we go to a break, man. Who we got? Mario, what's up? Good morning, Mario.
What's going on, P. White and all the listeners?
Not much, man. Talk to me, man. I'm up against a break.
It's game day, P. White in Jackson, baby. SWAC championship day in Jackson. Baby, I'm excited. I can't sit still. It's game day. Listen, I'm outside with no shirt on.
Wait, this Deputy Mario?
Yes, sir.
What's up, man?
What's going on, fella?
Hey, man, look. I'm a little under the weather. I can't come sit out there in that air with y'all today, man. That was my plan, but I had to change my plan, man. I can't come sit out there, man. I'm just now shaking back, at least trying to shake this thing off me, man.
Man, I would have drove to Baton Rouge and came back by the time the game started. Oh, listen, it hurts not to have Perry White in the building.
Deputy Mario, man, how was your holiday, man?
Oh, it was great.
Tell me something. Did you watch them Jaguars beat Grambling?
Oh, I did. I was excited. But I was so happy. I clapped my hands so loud. Listen, I got something for Jaguar Nation.
What you got?
And Perry, I want you to finish this statement. Patience is a what?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
I got something for Jaguar Nation. Patience is a what? Is a virtue, right?
That's correct.
Jaguar Nation going to have to be patient. There's no magic wand or abracadabra that Marshall Faulk can wave over Jaguar Nation and instantly win championships back to back to back. He's going to have to take this thing like a seed, plant it, water it, and grow it.
Mm-hmm.
Then it'll be, then he can take it long term. I think he's going to do great things in Jaguar Nation for Jaguar Nation. Sounds funny coming from a Tiger fan, but I think he's going to do dynamic things. And he's going to make that team nail-biting tough, as they always have been. So I look for great things from him.
I hope he's at the game today to go to Jackson and see what that environment is like. If you want to be the champion in this league, you got to go see, because we got to come to Jackson next year. And I think it would be good. I'm not sure what Marshall Faulk's plans are, but I spoke about this early this week. I think he needs to go to the SWAC championship and the Celebration Bowl. These are the best teams in black college football right now. This is the level you're trying to get. You want to host the championship eventually here in Baton Rouge, and you want to take your team to the Celebration Bowl. Don't let it be new to you. Go to it and see what it's about. Go watch these teams. See what it is to build the championship program to defeat these teams, man. And right now, Jackson is the blueprint for the SWAC. Prairie View and Tremaine. Jackson has gotten there, and I got to ask you real quick, your thoughts on today's game with Prairie View. Is the Tiger faithful a little nervous of Tremaine Jackson and the Prairie View Panthers?
Well, it's a lot of excitement in the air, but I'm gonna still yell Jackson State by far with no shirt on in this 40-degree weather. I'm still gonna yell it. Huh? And if I can't speak it, I'm gonna do sign language and still say it.
So Tigers by what?
Realistically, I'm gonna go 28-14 Jackson State in a nail biter.
Mm-hmm. Prairie
View is a tough team, and again, they take after their coach. They are hard-nosed, nail-biting team, and I think it's going to be a outstanding game.
I thought you was going to give me the typical Jackson State JSU by 40 in front of 60,000.
I said that at first, but I just want to be realistic. And we got a special guest in the building in Jackson, Mississippi. And you already probably know who's in the city.
Who's that?
Your co-host.
My boy off script.
Yeah.
Scotty say he was at the M-Bar last night eating wings and having a good time.
Had a good time, man. So that's a good thing. And so I know when he comes in town, Jackson State gonna be all right. And so we'll go up 28-14 in a victory over Prairie View.
Well, I hope you guys enjoy yourself today, man. I'm gonna have to miss out on it today, man. I'm just not the best to be up and down the road and sit out there in that weather, man. But I'll be watching while I'm drinking on some Theraflu and sipping on some soup, man. So thank you, Deputy Mario, for calling in this morning, man. As always, man, it's always a pleasure to hear from you, my man.
Always a pleasure, fella, and y'all be fantastic.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get ready to go to a break, everybody. When we come back, we'll continue more of the Jaguar Journal.
Say, Black, how you doing?
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. And as I talked about before the whole Marshall Faulk thing got jumped off, we got our own superstar at Southern University. He's our women's basketball coach, man, cooler than the other side of the pillow. My man, Coach Carlos Funches. Good morning, Coach Funches.
Hey, good morning, Perry. How you doing?
I'm good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, getting ready to make another trip. We're actually about to jump on this bus in about 10 minutes and head out to University of Houston. We're playing them tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Look, I'm glad to have you this morning. I know you're up against a tight schedule. You guys are moving around, but it was no way I can do this show after you guys went on the road and defeated undefeated Arizona this week, man. That was a huge victory not only for Southern University, but for the SWAC and out of conference. And we always talk about it. You remember this conversation we had last year, the tough non-conference schedule that you guys go through. And there's a reason you do this. And first of all, congratulations to you and the women's basketball team and your staff for what you did, man. That turned a lot of heads over there in Arizona, man.
Well, thank you a lot. I mean, the young ladies came out and they played extremely hard, and we made enough shots to give ourselves a chance to win the game. I thought defensively we were going to do a really good job with our ball pressure, and that was going to bother them and kind of get them out of what they do best, and that's exactly what happened. My thing was we just needed to score enough points to win the game. I thought we could hold them around 60. We actually ended up holding them, I think, to 57. But my big question was making enough shots to win that game, because they make everything difficult with their size on the inside.
63-57 was the final score. Southern University goes and defeats Arizona, who are coming to that game 6-0. They're now 6-1. Southern gets their second win of the season. Coach, from you, how do you take a win like that and then move forward with this program as you continue this tough non-conference schedule?
Well, my philosophy is just come out and play the game the right way, the correct way. You want to play a really efficient game on offense and defense. That means, running the right sets, hitting good screens, boxing out every time, making sure we know what we're doing defensively with switches and things like that. So that's my main goal going into every game. You might get an open shot, and if you run the set correctly and get good screens, you might miss it, even though it's an open shot, but you're playing the game the right way. You're going to give yourself an opportunity to win. It's the same defensively with our philosophy, with switching and what we call icing the ball screen, keeping it on the sideline, things like that you have to do consistently if you want to be a winner.
And what do you think about this team that you have this year? Some new faces to it, but some remaining faces, man, and just the level of just play that they're bringing early on for you.
Well, we have 9 new players that came in this year, and, it's a slow build. And that's what I tell the young ladies every day. It's going to take time. You got to just keep grinding and keep believing and keep working hard, because it takes a while to get that chemistry. And myself, I'm trying to get these rotations right. By the time we hit conference, I want to know who I need to put in with who and just try to mesh that the right way. And that's the toughest part. Talent-wise, I think we have a lot of talent. I think we have a chance to have a really good season, especially in the conference. But it just takes time to get everybody to mesh together.
Well, guess what, Coach? You got me excited. We put it on the Jaguar Journal social media on Facebook, man. That ending part of the game showing you guys win. Over 50,000 views, over 1,000 likes, and plenty of comments, too many comments to read. That's how excited and how viral it went of that huge win that you guys had over Arizona.
Well, all credit to the young ladies. They went out on that court and they gave us everything they had. And that's not the only game. I mean, we had a couple of other games early in the season that I thought that we played extremely hard, but, from a talent standpoint and a size standpoint, we just couldn't get it done. But we're going to try to continue to build on this win and hopefully go over to Houston and have a good showing and get better and better as the season goes on.
Well, we'll continue to support you, man, and be watching. I know you got a busy morning, about to get on the bus. Safe travels to you guys, man. Stay warm, stay healthy. Don't fool around and get sick like me, Coach. Don't be shaking everybody's hand and giving a lot of hugs. You just, give them that chest bump. I see you, brother.
All right. Thank you so much, Perry, for the support, man. We appreciate it.
Yes, sir. All right. That's the voice of Coach Carlos Funches. He's the head women's basketball coach over at Southern University. They got that big victory over Arizona this week. If you didn't know, now you know. Man, that was huge for Southern University. And one thing about Coach Funches, this program every year seems to go out and find one of those wins. Remember when they beat Oklahoma and Oklahoma ended up going on? Oklahoma was not yet in the SEC at the time, but they went on to win the Big 12 on the women's side. So this is a thing for Southern University. And I see, Vark, you said ask about, you told me to ask a question. I just didn't have enough time. He up against having to jump on that bus and get his team to Houston today. And I'm proud of them. I always talk about this program, man. I'm proud of Coach Funches, man. They go out and find ways to get wins for Southern University. Remember, this is their team that won the SWAC tournament last year, won an NCAA tournament game last year. And now they return and then they do stuff like this. This is what I talk about with the program that we have in women's basketball. I know we can't go beat all the big schools, but listen, I can check a couple of them off. You good with me? Because I know how hard it is, what we up against. And trust me, put that Arizona roster up against Southern roster and let's see what they paying. And if we getting what we getting for the bang of our buck and can go do that, that's a hell of a job of coaching. That's a hell of a job of recruiting. That's a hell of a job of getting these young ladies developed, ready to go play. And here's a hell of a job by Mike to get us ready for a break. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal. What's going on, everybody? I'm back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. It is SWAC Football Championship Day, and it is Jackson State taking on Prairie View, the Tigers versus the Panthers up in Jackson, Mississippi. And nobody better to talk about that game today than the head man over there in Jackson, my man Travis Jerome. Good morning, Travis.
Good morning, Perry. How are you?
Good, man. For anybody out there that's listening, man, this morning, the SWAC championship game, once again, Jackson State will be the host of the SWAC championship game this year, man. It will be televised on ESPN2 today. They got a very good time slot in between some of these other big championship games, conference championships games today. But let's start with the information, Travis. For anybody that's driving up to Jackson today, man, what's some information for parking, game, and whatever else surrounding today's game for in person?
Well, I'll just say this. If you don't have a parking pass yet, your best bet is going to be to Uber in or go to Smith Wills and catch the shuttle. We are out of parking. We've been out of parking probably for about 2 or 3 days. And the parking lots are actually open already at 7 a.m. I made a drive-by earlier, and there are already people in the lot. So I would say if you're coming, come early. Make sure you pay attention to the signs around the stadium to direct you in to your parking lots. Make sure you pay attention to all the signage in the medians that remind you not to park in the median, so when you come out, your car is still there. We had to make an announcement last week at the Soul Bowl that if you were parked on the median, you needed to go get your car. It was going to be towed, and it was about the time that everything happened in the fourth quarter. So if you had to go get your car, you missed the best part of the game in some people's eyes. But no, I just get there early. 6 at 1, gates open at 11. So, you've got about, 3 hours before the gates open up to try to get there. If you don't have tickets, because I know that's your next question, best bet, go online and purchase those tickets so you don't have to stand in the cold line to buy them in person.
What's the best place for people to buy tickets? Because, it's all type of ticket sites online, man. For people, what is the best site?
Go JSUtigers.com/tickets. If you show up with a third-party ticket, it's not going to work. It won't scan in our system. And if you do somehow get in with a third-party ticket and the person shows up with the ticket that was purchased through Jackson State or through the championship site, you'll probably be asked to get out of the seats, and then it'll be taken over by the ticket office and whoever else to determine which tickets are the legitimate tickets. We've had that issue before, so we don't accept any third-party tickets. They have to come from Impact Tickets.
Let me ask you this: with this, Southern fans, and I think not just Southern, any team within this conference has seen what this is like to host a SWAC championship game. For Jackson State to host multiple games, what does this do for Jackson State athletics, for the school, when you talk about marketing and finances by hosting an extra game of the year in terms of a SWAC championship?
It's really good for the university and it's great for athletics. And this is not being a guy that's going to, I don't play in the game, but when we say that the SWAC runs through Jackson, Mississippi, legitimately it runs through Jackson, Mississippi. We've hosted 4 out of the, well, you think about it, we've hosted 4 out of the last 5 and really 5 out of the last 6 because we hosted the spring game between UAPB and Alabama A&M. So 5 out of the last 6 championship games have been played in the vet. So it's old hat for us. We know what to expect. We know, the plans. But for us, it's great. It's an impact that you can't feel if you've never hosted a game.
Yeah.
You basically get everything that you would normally get. This is not a playoff game, so the NCAA or the conference doesn't come in and say, well, you only get X amount of percentage. This is something that the host institution benefits from greatly financially.
And I say that because, I think this is the incentive for people and teams across the conference to want to do, and that's host the SWAC championship game. Now, for you guys, what is it like in terms of the ticket sales thus far for today's game?
Hey, ticket sales have been good. They were really slow at first because the weather forecast that came out had rain Wednesday all the way through today. Then it changed a little bit midweek. Then it changed Thursday. And if you're still thinking about coming to the game and you think it's going to rain, there's a 0% chance of rain, and the temperature is actually going to be in the mid-50s today. So everything positive has changed that could. We're expecting a great crowd. We know our fans are going to be there. We're expecting Prairie View's fans to be there. Prairie View's fans hit the ticket site pretty quick when it opened up because they already knew they were in it, so they were ready to purchase tickets. I'll say this. For any fan, for either team is trying to save your money to get to Atlanta, remember there's only one team that's going to make it to Atlanta. So if it's not your team, then you just miss out and have to wait till 2026.
Well, that sounds like Southern. We got to wait till 2026, Travis. We waiting, but, at the end of the day, man, somebody's going to be crowned as SWAC football champion today. It's either going to be Jackson State. It's going to be Prairie View. They're going to head to the Celebration Bowl next week. What has the environment been like around the campus and the stadium for Jackson State leading to today's big game?
For us, it's been a little weird because we always have graduation the Friday before the championship game, so things have been kind of a little chaotic on campus. But for the fans, it's been nonstop. once we got in, they haven't stopped talking about it. The talk has ramped up this week, but as far as, us as an athletic department and us as a football program, we're locked in on hosting the championship game. The team is completely locked in. They have stayed away from any talk, which is, kind of scary at sometimes, but it really shows you how important this game is for both institutions.
And one last time, Travis, for anybody out there that's listening, if they need to get tickets to today's game, parking, as well as they want to watch it, all the information that goes in today's ball game of Jackson State versus Prairie View.
If you don't have parking, find Smithfield Stadium, catch the shuttle, find you a lot or somewhere to park to be able to do some, where you can get in and maybe Uber. We're out of parking passes. We don't sell them on game day at this point anyway. We stopped doing that 2 years ago. If you don't have tickets, go online to gojsutigers.com/tickets. Get your tickets there so you don't have to stand in line, and you can download them to your phone and scan them as you walk in. If you can't get online, you can always purchase them at the gate. So walk up to the stadium. All the ticket booths will be open. Gates open at 11. Parking lots are open at 7, so they're open already. We're just looking forward to a great atmosphere inside the vet today.
And the game will be televised on ESPN2, correct, at 1 o'clock?
Game will be televised on ESPN2. Kickoff is at 1:05. Airtime is at 1 o'clock. So if you can't make it to the game, make sure you turn the television on. You might be in for one of the better games of the year in the conference, the way everybody's talking about these two teams.
I'm going to tell you, in Baton Rouge, we ain't talking about these two teams, Travis. I just want to let you know.
Hey, well, we've all been there before. So, it's one of those things that everybody goes through a period like that. My suggestion for all the Southern fans, take a breath, sit back and relax. And since you're in the West, I'll say it, things will get back to normal.
Hey,
if you were in the East, If you were in the East, I'd tell you don't take a breath because we're in the East.
Hey, we figuring it out. Look, just give us some time. We'll be back, Travis. Give us some time.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Look, everybody thought we were going to fall off the cliff 3 years ago, and look where we are.
Hey, and congratulations to you guys, man, and good luck to you guys today, Travis, and good luck to Prairie View. And, man, hey, have a great day, Travis, man. Appreciate you coming on this morning.
No, I appreciate you too, Perry. Anytime.
Yes, sir. All right, everybody, that was the voice of Travis Jerome. Let's get ready to take a break. We come back on the other side. Very special guest here in the studio this morning. He is the president of the Southern University System. Dr. Dennis Shields will join us and talk about the update and what's going on around the system of Southern University, the only HBCU system in the entire world. So you guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Marching band from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The Southern University marching band is led by drum major Lewis, primetime Broadway Jr. Show him some love. The human jukebox will now take you through a precision drill under the sound of the SU band will now do the midfield drill to the two. Lovely. put your hands together for the fabulous dancing dolls as they jam to the And now, moving at an amazing trailblazing 360 steps per minute. One of the many reasons why when you say Southern University Marching Band, it means excitement. And that only just to let you know that they're the best. The Southern University Marching Band is simply America's finest. So sit back, relax when you're about to experience the most exciting time of your life. Have the feeling, the dazzling, the house rocker, the rock of all houses as the crowd presentation on a ride.
All right, everybody, we're back. It's the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. I'm Perry White. Glad to have you guys with us. Good morning to everybody on Talk 107.3 FM, listening across the Baton Rouge capital city area. You'll be surprised at how many people listen that aren't Southern fans and be like, man, that's you in the morning? I listen to you when I'm cleaning out my garage, when I'm on my morning walk. Yes, it is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. And good morning to everybody out there that is listening and watching on our YouTube and Facebook Live. We're glad to have you guys. Be sure to keep up with the Jaguar Journal. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on X. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Now, very special guest here in the studio. This is the second time. I caught you in the beginning. Now I'm catching you at the end. Dr. Dennis Shields. He is the Southern University System President. Good morning, Dr. Shields.
Good morning, Perry. Glad to be here.
Man, I'm glad to have you, man. How you been doing?
I'm doing just fine. You know, you get up and you do what you have to do and you keep it moving.
You got to keep it moving, man. And a guy like you keep it moving because you are in charge of the entire system. That's from Shreveport to New Orleans, to the Law Center, to the Baton Rouge campus, to the Ag, to everything else in between. And I got to ask you, because this is the $1 million question. What is it like to be the president of the Southern University system? Because for a lot of people that out there listening that may be fans, supporters, or alum of Southern, they never truly have gotten a true understanding of what it, or actually heard it from a president themselves of what is it like to run the only HBCU system in the entire world?
Well, it's a privilege. It's an honor. It's a challenge. What I will tell you is there are a lot of very good people doing a lot of very good work. So as you see the successes the system has, you got to remember there are a lot of people that make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, and as long as you keep that in mind, stay humble, understand that you don't accomplish anything without the help and support and commitment of others. It's a bearable burden.
For you, through the interview process, if you taking this job just a couple years ago, what was that process like for you as you started to get a better understanding of Southern University system and the different universities within that system?
Well, there's a word you're going to hear from me fairly frequently this morning. You have to have a certain humility about it and know that you're learning. I've been learning. I've been here 3.5 years. I continue to learn. A couple of things that resonate with me is the passion that people have that are connected to Southern about Southern University. It's been a life-changing experience for them. And that's why they care so much about what happens with Southern. Um, so just embracing that in your own fashion has been a great experience for me.
Then you go through the process, you're chosen, and then you get in and you get to see day one and go from day one to 3 years later. There are problems, there are good times, there are bad times, there are hard days, there are good days. As you opened up, I say that first 90 days, what was that like for you looking at the system as a whole, now coming in as the president?
Well, it's like drinking from a fire hose.
It's a lot.
I remember the first trip I made to Baton Rouge after the announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I flew in Sunday night, had dinner with my wife, got up at 7 o'clock in the morning, went to New Orleans, met with folks there, had a big reception. I mean, I think I had 9 gift baskets walking away from that. And that was a full day. Then you stay overnight, get in a car, drive back to Baton Rouge, meet with the commissioner of higher education, meet with some people on campus, and then get up the next morning, leave at 7 o'clock to go to Shreveport, and you got to pack a lunch to get to Shreveport.
Yeah, you do. There's no easy way to get there.
And then you spend a day there meeting people. Then there's another reception and 9 more gift baskets, and everybody's excited and shaking hands and having people tug on you. And somewhere out there's about 40,000 photos of me from that week and my wife. Then you get up the next morning, drive back to Baton Rouge, start meeting people here, meet with some members of the Legislative Black Caucus. Another full day. So the whole week was a whirlwind as you just have your first glancing blow of getting introduced to people, and you're really impressed by the excitement that people have for it, and they really want to check you out, right? Because here's this black guy. He's coming down here from Wisconsin. What's his commitment going to be here? How's he going to do things differently? A lot of excitement, but still a sense of nervousness. And so it was an interesting experience for me. Personally, my first exposure to HBCUs was my second foster family. In a little town called Brooklyn, Iowa. And it was a black doctor who was a graduate of Fisk and Meharry Medical School. And when I used to travel with that family, so this is in the mid-60s, this is 62, 63, 64. I'm traveling around. I'm meeting his peers and colleagues from Fisk and Meharry. And I don't think from that point forward I ever thought about not going to college because that's what they had all done, and I saw the impact that it had on them. While I can't say as a 7, 8, 9-year-old I really understood it, but it did plant a seed. And I think from that point forward, I understood the value of HBCUs. And so then you move forward 50 years, and I have the opportunity and the challenge of running the only HBCU system in the country. It's a humbling experience.
When you first got here, you see everybody how they are. Did you kind of feel like an outsider? And if so, how long did it take to shake that off?
Well, if I'll go back to my background. I spent the first 5 years of my life in a Catholic orphanage. I grew up in foster homes, boys' home, another foster home. Even in my professional career, I went to law school at Iowa, worked at Iowa for about 9 years, then went off to the University of Michigan Law School, then to Duke University in North Carolina, then out to Phoenix, and then a year at City College in New York in Harlem, and then 12 years in Wisconsin. So my life has been going into new environments and figuring out how to succeed and fit in. So each one of those moves were different from another. And so I tend to be a bit of an introvert, and so I tend to sort of want to step back, absorb it, observe it, not be quick to judge anything. And I knew coming in that people were, very curious about what I was going to do. Was I going to come in and fire everybody? Was I going to bring in, 15 new people to do things? And so you have to be very self-aware of how people might respond to you and the concerns that they might have.
When you come in and you have that viewpoint of your vision, but everybody, just like with the football coaching hire, Rome was not built overnight. You just can't come in and snap your fingers and everything is going to change. There's a process. You have to evaluate. You're looking and you're taking the entire thing, because it's not just a campus. You're looking at the entire system. For you, how did you grasp this and say, all right, one thing at a time before you get overwhelmed?
Well, I occasionally teach. I taught a higher education leadership seminar. And I spent time talking with those young people about your values. I think leaders have to be driven by values. And so what you have to do is live that and let people observe what you value and what you think is important, communicate to them what you think is important. For me, it's always been students. I mean, I have a measure of humility because while I think I've had a very successful career and life, I have no illusions. There were dozens and dozens of people at any given moment who looked at me, saw value in me, and helped me along. Certainly my own talents and skills and effort had something to do with it. But for me, my values circle around what's the kind of experience students are having? How do you improve that experience? How do you help them be successful? How do you drive the organization to do that? And so that, as I came in, that always animated how I thought about the work I needed to do.
And when you talk about that work that need to be done and you focused on the students, moving forward with the students, what was a priority for you in the system when it came to the students?
Well, first of all, to improve the outcomes. And I think one of the biggest challenges that I had is communicating that and getting that to be a part of everyone associated with the educational process. So you focus on that. The other thing is that after student outcomes, a lot more to it, but you got to know what the priorities is. Universities have the opportunity to be great stewards of place, helping the prosperity of where they're located and that kind of thing, and getting people to think about, well, in tandem with what happens with students, how are we helping the community succeed? And then finally, I've been in public higher education. I've been in higher education for 44 years. All but 8 or 9 of those years were at public institutions. And you realize that the kind of support that public institutions could count on from government. So if you go back to when I was in law school, right? Resident of Iowa, going to the public university there. My tuition for each year in law school was $1,000.
What year was this, man?
79 to 82.
The good old days, man.
And that's a direct reflection
Yeah.
of the support you get from the state has not matched the increased cost.
That's right.
So one of the things you have to do is generate revenue from other sources. You can't, I don't want to badmouth the state. They got a lot of demands on it. But if you rely only on what you get from the state and what you can get from the students, either one of those can go sideways in any given year. So you got to find other revenue streams to support the institution.
It's unpredictable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And you look at universities that are prospering, they have a variety of revenue streams. So those were the three things. In over my 3.5 years, that's what's driven front of mind what I'm trying to get done for the system.
Let's get ready to do this, Mike. Let's take a break real quick. We'll pay some bills because, hey, we got to be predictable here. We got to pay some bills just like you do. Let's pay some bills, everybody, and we'll come back. We got Southern University System President in the house today, Dr. Dennis Shields. We're talking his tenure here at Southern University. You guys stay tuned. We'll be back more to Jaguar Journal.
All right, quickly, man.
One, two.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to you. I am Perry White, very special guest here in the studio this morning. He is the president of the Southern University System. That's the highest you can get. Dr. Dennis Shields. Good morning, Dr. Shields.
Morning, Perry. Great to be here.
Yes, sir. You know, as we have this conversation, man, you are an Iowa guy, man. Coming down to the South, the cuisine. What was the first time you got here? What did you fall in love with in terms of a Louisiana cuisine?
Well, believe it or not, I learned about grits at a very young age. And so I love living in a place where they actually know what grits are. And you can have, my wife's a great cook. And so she'd introduce me to shrimp and grits. And so I think that's the thing that I've liked most. The crawfish, I'm not feeling that.
That's too much. Might mess up yeah.
I'm not feeling that so much.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, the food here will put some weight on you.
Trust me. I came to Louisiana, man. I had a little pack on me. Now I got my dad bod and full exposure. I gotta ask you too. You know, you put butter or sugar in your grits?
No butter.
Okay. Don't judge me. I put sugar in my grits.
Butter and hot sauce.
That's a little different. I never heard the hot sauce. Butter and hot sauce.
I like it spicy.
Okay. Well, you're in the right place because everything around here give you heartburn. Let's talk about now you get into this position, man. From an outside looking in, and for so many years, it was almost like it was a separate world of administration at Southern University compared to everybody else. And when I say everybody else, fans, supporters, alums, and you always heard like word of mouth how things are. It's almost like this lore of this secret world that you hear about, and you got to be in that secret world to know what it's like. Other than that, you just always heard. But when you got here and you talk about it, how political was, and I should say is, the position that you hold currently for Southern University?
Well, look, I became friends with Bill Tate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Louisiana politics, a whole different thing. Okay. And I'm not just talking about politics in the government,
Mm-hmm.
the way the relationships people have. It is a place that is driven by individual relationships across the board, and that's a little different than I'm used to. I mean, I wouldn't say that's, you don't run into that to some extent other places, but it drives a lot of what goes on here.
Mm-hmm.
And that was interesting to navigate. But again, I go back, you're values driven. You try to demonstrate by performance how you're going to interact with people, what they're going to take on. And I think, at first, people didn't know what to make of me. I sounded different.
You had that Louisiana twang to you. You're not up in there eating crawfish etouffee and boudin.
And, there are a lot of people in Louisiana. Louisiana is where they've been all their lives.
Yeah.
And so the challenge for me was to talk about and think about doing things differently to get the results that we'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it takes the building of trust for people to sort of not be wary of that on an ongoing basis.
Yeah, different is can be a little uncomfortable for people in Louisiana.
Well, and people, one of the things that I would say, they have a picture. This is what a president should be like and act like.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it's important to be authentic and be yourself. And so I think people had to adapt that, okay, he's not going to be a rah-rah guy on every moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate the fact that it's what you do day by day and not the appearance that you have at events, although those are important. But it's how you live your life and how you lead people day by day. And they look at you to demonstrate by performance that you're living out your values and you're true to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the people who've worked most closely with me have seen that and appreciated it.
Would you say somebody who's not worked closely with you may see that differently?
Sure.
Yeah. I can say that with me. I'm authentically who I am. And people, if you don't know me, you may see me from afar. You may say, oh, I don't know about that guy. But if you get to know me and you be around me, Mike, you would know, who I am. I'm genuine. I give you the shirt off my back. I am who I am, but I have a purpose. And I feel my purpose is I've been driven in a direction to fulfill that purpose. But that purpose is to do positive things, to help people, and for right now, to do what I can to help push Southern University forward. The same way your purpose is what you hear in a different capacity as the president. And you talk about the politics because does it in Louisiana, do you take it, or does it seem to be more personal than business when it comes to the politics here? Or is that politics everywhere for you?
It's everywhere.
Okay.
And I'm not good at it because I tend to be sort of, this is who I am, this is what I do, and this is how I'm going to respond to it. I think I'll go back to that word, humility.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to judge people.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I have not lived the life of the folks in Louisiana.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't grow up in the segregated South. The fact that there's HBCUs at all speaks to the notion that there were folks that didn't want us to be educated.
Mm-hmm.
And the battle going back to when the SU system was formed, I mean, there were people who had to fight to make sure that Southern kept its identity and kept its existence and wasn't driven by people who didn't have Southern's best interests or the people that Southern serves best interests at heart.
Mm-hmm.
You have to respect that. You can't necessarily understand all of it because you weren't a part of it,
mm-hmm.
but you have to respect it. And I'll tell you, as I've interacted with alums across the country, you have an appreciation for how they love the institution, not because it's perfect, but because of the profound impact it had on their lives. And there are so many extraordinarily successful Southern alums that that very genuinely feel that their success was driven by the opportunity that this university and this system gave to them. And that's a powerful thing, and it's a thing you have to respect and honor.
I'm one of them because, as I was telling you off air, the way I showed up to Louisiana, not knowing anybody, but it was those people that were in place that gave me that opportunity when I had nothing, when I was down and out, and presented an opportunity to say, hey, if you do what you're supposed to do, we'll make sure you're successful. We'll make sure you're headed in the right direction. And those people took the time with me. And I say, I'm not just the only story. There are countless stories. And that's the love and the drive that I have for Southern to this day. And people who know me that doesn't have any affiliation with Southern, they always ask me, man, why do you do so much? Why do you have this love for Southern? I said, man, you just had to come here to know it. And I guess on the outside looking in, you were kind of considered an outsider coming in. It took a while to kind of understand that infatuation for Southern, didn't it?
Well, look, I will tell you this, that there was a gentleman that I met like 20 years ago when I was living and working in Phoenix that I came to know. I knew he's from Louisiana, a very successful engineering alum, who I recruited. At that time, I was the chair of the Greater Phoenix Urban League Board, and I recruited him to serve on the Urban League Board. And I called him up when I was going through this process, the interviewing process, and said, what do you know about Southern? Well, I'm a Southern alum. And I didn't even know this aspect out of it, but he has a great love for Southern. And he's gone on to do a lot of work, try to raise scholarship money out of the Phoenix area that way. But because of his exposure to me, he was very excited about my coming to Southern. But you could hear the passion in his voice about that. And he's from over by Opelousas, I think, and grew up with next to nothing. And owes the success that he has in his life to the educational opportunity that Southern provided to him. Absolutely brilliant guy, but you got to have the opportunity. And that's the way I think the Jaguar Nation views things. I came here and I got something very valuable to me, and not just to me personally, but also to my family, because in many ways you change the whole economic arc of a family by getting a college degree and getting a job. You change the whole dynamic. And they very much honor that and believe and have a passion for Southern, because that's what Southern did for them.
Let's get ready to take a break real quick. When we come back, we'll continue more of this conversation. I got my man, Dr. Dennis Shields, here in the studio. He is the president of the Southern University system. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back. More of the Jaguar Journal.
Say black, now you're good.
All right, everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. I'm Perry White. Have Dr. Dennis Shields, the president of the Southern University System, in the house this morning. Good morning, Dr. Shields.
Good morning, Perry. Great to be here.
Yes, sir. Look, you said something earlier about Louisiana politics. You talked about just not the politics in terms of a politician, but everything. But in terms of Louisiana politics, when it comes to supporting higher education as well as the business community, how tough is it to see, and I'm going to use it straight up, for white people in the state of Louisiana, as you talked about, having been the segregated South, to have a value in a place that gives education to black folks, considering the Southern University system. When you talk about from the business community, when you talk about from the political side, all the way to the capital, how tough is it in the state of Louisiana?
Well, it's interesting because it's not the segregated South in the same way it was 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
There's a significant connection between, I'd say, the professional class. I mean, there's a lot of poor folks still here, and we got to do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not a company that you can go to here that there aren't African Americans at insignificant roles, if not leadership roles.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things I think I'm proudest of is that over my time here, I've laid the foundation to sort of work with these companies. We just got a $5 million gift from Shell. What I would say to you is that those folks want to find a way to help Southern be successful. They're figuring out because they think Southern is an important piece to the prosperity of the state of Louisiana. And the next person is going to have to figure out how to build on that piece and expand it. I think the Shell's interest in Southern was a leadership piece. It was an example to set for other major industries in the state. Say, here's an international corporation that's going to make an investment in Southern,
Mm-hmm.
and that needs to happen. When I say diversifying the revenue of the institution, without that sort of support, Southern is going to be challenged to sort of to continue to be a modern university and serve its students well. I think those parties need to be continuously focusing on how to build those relationships and make those investments.
I like what you said there. You use this term modern university. What is a modern university?
Well, a modern university knows that it's still its core mission is to educate students who come there and give them the highest and best education, expose them to all the cutting edge stuff, and prepare them to grow and adapt because the pace at which things change now is completely different,
Mm-hmm.
right? Our graduates today, 10 years from now, they're going to be taking jobs that don't even exist now.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to prepare them to adapt to that. We have to be, I think, more purposefully helping them become innovative and entrepreneurial moving forward because that's the way the world is now. And it's not just in this country, it's international.
Mm-hmm.
So, and these companies, the Exxons, the Shells, the BASFs, the ones, the big names that they're constantly trying to figure out how do we grow and adapt and develop a workforce and a leadership that can grow and adapt and adjust to the challenges that come forward. So a modern university helps train its students and educate its students in that way, but is also actively engaged in helping set that path forward.
And does that mean sometime having to evaluate and make changes in terms of structure and processes on how things go?
Oh, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
The challenge is being careful not to chase every shiny object.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because there's a lot of stuff coming at you. But you have to just even the way, for example, you interact with students. These phones, this is what they use.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to figure out how to use that technology to get them engaged. You have to train them what's the highest and best use of this thing called AI.
Mhm.
And then the technology and science continuously changes. What were groundbreaking technologies when I was in college, and people say, yeah, that's sort of done, and we've moved on from that. I mean, I'm still old enough. I remember I was out of law school, working at the University of Iowa Law School. They built a new building.
Mhm.
When they built the new building, every office had a computer.
Oh, was it internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had never 1986. I turned around, looked at that machine, and said, "Okay, I'm going to start by trying to figure out how to turn it on."
Yeah.
And you're like, you push that button, then it lit up. Right now, those phones are more powerful than the 5 or 6, times more powerful than that computer that was sitting in my office, and it can do so many things. Right? I was thinking the other day, Star Trek in the 60s, they talked about, they would talk to anybody from anywhere by hitting this button on their chest.
Mhm.
That's effectively what we have now.
That's
We thought
it.
that was outlandish.
It was
That you
at the
can hit
time.
something on your chest and talk to somebody a billion miles away.
Mhm.
We do that now. Everybody does it.
Yeah.
So that's what we have to be doing, and we have to be on the cutting edge of that, doing that kind of work. That's what a modern university is.
Is it tough in the situation for Southern in its current state and not just the university, but as the system to get itself to modern university status, or is Southern there?
Well, it's a work in progress. I mean, look, if you're a modern university, you're always adapting.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the way to do that. I think we've been resource challenged.
And talk, what's resource challenge?
We don't have enough money.
There we go.
Okay,
That's because there's somebody out there like, what are you talking about? They don't have enough basketballs or something? I don't know.
Well, it money doesn't solve every issue, but if you don't have enough of it, it hamstrings your ability to move forward.
Yeah.
And that's one of the challenges that Southern's had historically. And it needs more support from the state. Okay. It needs to be good stewards of that money. It needs more real support from business and industry. Now, the other side of the coin is we have to continue demonstrating that we're a worthwhile investment.
Yeah.
And so it's a two-way street that way.
And I think that's huge when you say demonstrating that we are in the capacity to be able to do good business. So in turn, it's saying, hey, Southern University, and for me, when I got here, and there's like this notion of sometimes somebody could have had a bad taste in their mouth from Southern 20 years ago, and it rolls over 20, 30 years later.
But that's true at every university.
Yeah.
Look, you mispronounced somebody's name at commencement. They're never going to let go of that.
No, they're not.
And that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Happens to the band director at Southern. Boy, you know how many times I hear him call him Kedrick Taylor? It's Dr. Kedrick Taylor, right? But I have to ask you this. So you get to the board meeting and in New Orleans last week, but you've kind of already read the room. You kind of already know. When did you start to realize that, all right, the board wants to move in a different direction from my leadership? And was it kind of writing on the wall for you?
Oh, I had been in conversation with board leadership for a number of weeks before that.
Mm-hmm. Was it, what was that conversation like without any detail? Was it mostly business, or was it just, hey, this is a new vision?
It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
But they indicated they wanted to do something different. And my view is just what I said at the board meeting, that's the board's prerogative.
Mm-hmm.
In my view, at that point, then it becomes my job to do no harm.
Yeah.
Okay. However, which way I want to feel about it, at the end of the day, the interest of the institution has to come first.
Mm-hmm.
And so you accept it and you move forward. I think for me, the conversation that I had, or the talk I gave at the board is making sure people understood what motivated me about this work, because it wasn't something I thought about. Somebody talked to me 4 years ago and said, why don't you come? This has been my passion throughout my whole life,
Mm-hmm.
is moving the next generation forward, and why I felt that way, and that I felt compelled to make sure people understood that,
Mm-hmm.
and that may make me a little odd in this environment because I came here. I didn't have allegiances to any particular person or thing or area. My focus was on how do we execute on the mission of Southern University. And you can't, well, I think it's inappropriate to get into a public debate, good, better, and different about the work. Your body of work is your body of work, and people will make their own judgment about that. It's one of the differences between this work and sports,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because in sports, they're keeping score in every game,
Mm-hmm.
whether you pass the test or not, you know, and your body of work over the course of a season, the wins and losses are pretty obvious.
Mm-hmm.
This work is not so plain, and everybody can have a different opinion about that,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to accept that.
Let me ask you for the difference that you see in which the board wants to move forward with the next president of Southern University. How different do you see that from your vision of what you have for Southern University?
Well, I don't think the mission changes. I think that they'll make a judgment based on what they think is best moving forward,
Mm-hmm.
and the board has to decide that. And look, I'm not going to make any commentary about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it. I have my view about it, but it really doesn't matter. It's the view that the board takes and what they think is in the best interest of the institution that drives it.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be inappropriate for me, for personal reasons,
Mm-hmm.
to want to step in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, on my way in, I wouldn't want somebody to do that to me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm not going to do that as I exit. I want Southern to succeed. I think my body of work has shown that we've made progress. And whether it's me or somebody else, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah. And it's just been a short period of time. It's, in the grand scheme of higher education within the state of Louisiana, 3 years is a short time frame.
Southern's been around since 1880.
Yeah.
Okay. And it will be around long after I'm gone.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the advantages of my life experience and career is that you see that,
Mm-hmm.
right? In 1991, I mean, you talk about the passion Southern have. I'm a Hawkeye.
I know.
I grew up in Iowa. I was living in Iowa City.
Uh-huh.
I was working for a law school I thought had done wonderful things for me. I went to every home football game, every home basketball game. I was living the life. So if you'd have asked me in 1987 if you'd ever leave Iowa City, I'd say, why would I do that? And I left as a very successful administrator at the law school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on. Because I was at Michigan, Duke, and Arizona, and New York, I really didn't get back to the law school for over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I discovered when I went back?
What you discovered?
It was doing just fine without me.
You just came back in to just
they said,
help it out.
Yeah, they were like, oh. I said, And that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, I thought I had a good run at the law school there. They're doing fine. Duke Law School, doing just fine.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go in those environments and you try to have a positive impact and do what you can. But then when your day is done, somebody else is going to step into that role and do that work. And it's for somebody else to determine whether, it's good, bad, or indifferent.
Mm-hmm.
But the institution will endure. And you just have to accept that. When I was leaving University of Wisconsin-Platteville, I'd been there 12 years. I had a senior team that had worked. Some of them had worked for me over that whole time. And they're very nervous. And I said, it's going to be okay. There may be some change, but the institution is going to move forward. And you accept that and you embrace the next leadership that comes in and you continue the work.
Mm-hmm.
And then you move forward. So I had some real challenges early in my life. And here's what I tell you. You have a choice how you respond to that.
Mm-hmm.
Do you carry a grudge? do you let some negative experience when you were 7 years old, 15 years old, 25 years, you can choose how you respond
Mhm.
to conditions that are adverse. I mean, it's one of the things I appreciate, but I think that no better athlete than I was that I learned from athletics. I mean, I told you off the mic, my senior year in high school, we had a pretty good basketball team. We went to the state tournament, lost in the semifinals. And then my first year in college, we were 0-22. Now, that's not the best way to get a lesson. Okay. I wouldn't encourage that on anybody. But I carry that with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to talk about the Southern football team
Mhm.
because it wasn't a good year.
Mhm.
And I feel for those young men because that is not fun,
Mhm.
and you got to get through it week after week. But then at the last opportunity they have, they stepped forward, and even in that game, early in the second half, you think, oh, okay, this is going to be the same old thing. But they put their foot in the ground and pushed forward and won that game, and that's what they're going to carry forward in their lives.
Mhm.
That at that moment, however, whatever happened before that, they made a choice, and at that choice, they moved forward in a positive way.
And they didn't give up.
Yep.
Let's get ready to take a break, everybody. When we come back, we'll get ready to close things out. I got the president of Southern University System, Dr. Dennis Shields. I'm Perry White. It's the Jaguar Journal. We'll be right back. Everybody, we're back. It is the Jaguar Journal. Good morning to everybody. Listen on Talk 107.3 FM across the Baton Rouge capital city area. I am Perry White. I have the president of Southern University System, Dr. Dennis Shields, here in the building. Dr. Shields, time is coming to an end at the end of this month. You're going to take some time off to yourself, and then you will be back in a different role. But if you look back over these 3 years, over your time as the Southern University System president, you know, and when we put this in the history book and we talk about the different presidents, how would you like to be remembered from your body of work of being here at Southern University?
Well, first of all, I would say I'll leave it to somebody else to determine what the great successes or lack of successes might be.
Mm-hmm.
What I want is them to think this is a guy that was authentic, that he was values driven, that he was committed to having Southern be the greatest Southern it could be. And that's it. You know, I'm comfortable with the work that I've done. I think I could offer my own criticism. You know, if you are honest with yourself, you can always offer criticisms. There's things that didn't get done or didn't move as quickly as I would have liked to, and so you want to reflect back on could I have done that differently or better. So I will obviously have those sort of thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been heartened, and I'm grateful to the Jaguar Nation. The alumni across Jaguar Nation have been, you know, great to me from the moment. Right? I mean, expressing their concerns. Right? You know, the first alumni events, you know, there'd be 15 people in line to gnaw on your leg for a few minutes.
Uh-huh.
But at the end of the day, they had their say, and then they wanted to support. So I can tell you, I didn't go to any alum and ask them for help on this, that, or the other, and not have them embrace it. You know, our engineering program is on a completely new trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we got a great new dean in place, but we have a great body of alums in that from that engineering program that are putting their time and treasure. That's what's turning that place around.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I did a couple things, got some things out of the way, but they're driving that. Dean Martin's doing great things. You look at our nursing program. I mean, great leadership out of Dean Brown, Vice Chancellor Brown now.
Mm-hmm.
That's driving that. Our Ag Center, you know, Chancellor McMeans and his team are driving it. The great things that are happening at Suno and Susla, chancellors that we've put in place there. You know, Chancellor Bowie down at Suno. He hasn't been in it, but 3 or 4 months. But you can already see the dynamic changing. You know, Chancellor Gant at Susla, you know, which was really struggling, has put it on a good path.
Mm-hmm.
And from where I sit, I understand what a lift that is and how remarkable that leadership is that they're providing does it. So that's how I think about it. I think I said earlier in this discussion that you're only as good as the people that you can put in place to move things along. And there's some remarkable people doing great things. Those buildings that are going up, okay, they're moving along because we're executing it every step along the way to get those done. Now, am I going out there and doing that? No, that's Ken Dawson and his team that are driving the facilities. That you see those, across the system, $350 million worth of projects either underway or going to be underway in the next few months. It's remarkable work by that team of people getting that done.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I will remember about this. Year over year, our the giving to the universities improved. Have I talked to every one of those folks? No.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a team doing that work, and there are alumni and business and industry that are embracing the mission that Southern has, and they're stepping up. And that is really an amazing thing to look at. Those people stepping up in that way.
Well, you stepped up in that way, and I got to say, man, first of all, I appreciate you for coming on this morning and having a conversation, not only with me, but to anybody out there that's listening, because, at the end of the day, the love that we have for Southern, just like how you said, as the leader of Southern, you want to see the best for it. And I think at the end of the day, we all want to see the best for it. And it's good to hear from the leader of the Southern University system, because it's your passion and it's your drive that gives us the feel that, hey, we know moving forward is in good hands because of where you've left it.
I want whoever the next president of the system is to be embraced in the same way I have by the alumni nation, by business and industry. They're going to need your support, and they're going to need good people pushing Southern University forward.
Everybody, that is the voice of Dr. Dennis Shields, Southern University System President, man. It's been a pleasure and an honor. I shake your hand because I remember the first time we talked, it was on the sideline, and I looked. I said, what is the president doing down here on the sideline watching football? Why are you not in your suite? He said, man, I like football. He was down there watching the game, and so it was different. I'm used to looking up in the suite. You up, somebody up there kicking it. You was down with the people. Ever since then, I've been down with you, so I appreciate that. That's Dr. Dennis Shields, everybody, the Southern University System President. I am Perry White, my man Mike on the board. Hey, everybody out there, thank you for joining us this morning, man. Be sure to subscribe to the Jaguar Journal YouTube channel. You can follow the Jaguar Journal on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, on X, formerly Twitter, on Instagram and Facebook. We will appreciate it as we continue to grow, support us, and grow with us. Love you guys. You got one final word? Anything for the people?
Thank you to everyone. And continue working to support Southern.
Continue to work and support Southern. And guess what? If the man upstairs says the same, I'll be back next week at the same time in the same place. Because always, it's the Jaguar Journal. What's going on, everybody? I am Perry White. I'm the host of the Jaguar Journal. I want to make sure that you guys tune in live each and every Saturday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. on 107.3 FM. We also have our affiliates in Alexandria, Louisiana, as well as down in New Orleans. And if you're not able to catch us on radio live, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well as follow us on Facebook. It's the Jaguar Journal.